Welcome to Web Handling. My name is Dave Roisum. We begin our tour of important web handling parameters with web and machine width. The web industries are a large and varied lot. For example, materials might include paper, film, foil, nonwovens, rubber, textile, tissue, or some combination as in laminates. Yet perhaps an equally valid way to classify industries is by width. Just as paper and film people didn't talk until recently, neither do narrow web people follow wide webs much even today. Web handling is changing that because the science applies to all materials, widths, speeds, and conditions. Of all parameters, width might matter more than any other. First, it is a fundamental web and machine property, so fundamental that you could not buy or sell without including it in the specifications. Second, width determines purchase and operating costs more than almost anything else. As we will also see shortly, width strongly affects waste, delay, and customer complaints. In this clip, we will focus on just 3 of the uncountable ways that width affects your processes and web handling. These are roller size, reliability, and wrinkling. Rollers bend under the combined forces of gravity, tension, and nip. As we learned in Module 4 of Web 101, excessive deflection can cause debilitating troubles, such as wrinkling and vibration. We also learned how to avoid it by specifying a deflection class, usually B, and making sure the roller size is big enough, but not too big. While you can use the equations and worked out examples in my Mechanics of Rollers book, we have an Abbott app for that. In any case, you will see that the deflection goes by the third power of width. This means that the roller diameter is no less important. This means, of course, that machine cost and volume increase exponentially with width. The economic limit was reached by the paper industry in the late 1970s at about 400 inches or 10 meters and has not increased since. A related but still nonetheless distinct concept is the number of lanes your full-width web has. Each lane decreases the system reliability profoundly when one lane can take down another, as is often the case. For example, the system reliability with a decent 95% single lane reliability would drop to 90% with a second lane, and only 80% with a fourth lane. And this does not even include interaction between lanes, and that makes reliability even worse. For example, a single slit lane cannot run into its neighbor because it has no neighbor, but 2 can. On webs that have intentional thickness variation between the lanes, the thinner lanes serve as a nucleus for a type of wrinkling that would not be likely with uniform thickness designs. While it is often said that there's no such thing as a free lunch, narrow web people nearly have one with respect to wrinkling. From the science of biaxial stresses in webs, we know that the edges are very difficult to wrinkle. Think of a potential wrinkle as having an easy escape path because of the short distance to the edge. Now consider that the narrow web is essentially 2 edges, and you can appreciate why wrinkles are uncommon. Of course, it works the other way. The most common gotcha here is scaling up from pilot widths to commercial widths. You might have no trouble on a pilot scale and yet have unrunnable wrinkle situations on wider webs. However, before you get narrow web envy, consider that they have immensely greater alignment challenges, path control challenges, and other challenges. We could illustrate the importance of width by making long lists, but I'm not sure that would make the impression that I'm looking for. Instead, let me give you a scenario. If someone came to me and said they wanted to double the speeds, I would first yawn. Then I would say, why not design for quadruple speeds mechanically, because it will cost nearly nothing, besides the drives for the double speed goal. All the web handlers have to concern themselves with is error handling and vibration. Those who have been to Web 101 school should be comfortable with both. On the other hand, if someone wanted to double the width or even just increase it by 20%, I would say, whoa, partner, let's talk this through calmly. Are you ready for the scores of trouble that might get worse with width? Thank you so very much for watching this module in my Plant Practical video clips. Stay tuned as we continue our tour of some of the most important web handling parameters.